Guys, how are you? All right, I'm excited to meet all you guys and talk to you and get see all your faces. I first want to congratulate all of you guys on being in a 5-star diamond qualification. Guys, this is a huge deal as a team, and when it comes down to a qualification, I tell my girls this all the time, like, when it comes down to a qualification, there's nothing more exciting to me than being in a qualification with a group of people, because like you all succeed together whenever you all make this happen. Like, it's just like the coolest thing in the entire world. And the energy is amazing. And it's a whole team thing that's happening when you guys are doing that. So that's super awesome. And the fact that you guys are doing that in May is so cool, because that means you guys are on track to becoming an elite team. So congratulations to all of you. You guys are halfway there, which is freaking awesome. So don't take that lightly. I mean, I know it's one of those things where, you see 5-star diamond on your coach's name, but that means you're a 5-star diamond organization. And to me, that just makes you so much more credible, and it's more exciting to talk about and to kind of flash that around. So I wanted to start that off by saying that. So congratulations to you guys on that. That's amazing. But for those of you that have no idea who I am, I'm Kelsey. And I want to start off by telling you guys my story, because it's going to tie into what I'm talking to you guys about tonight, one. But two, it's really easy to hear a bunch of accolades read out and then think that like I have something that you don't, because I don't. I do not. Believe me when I tell you, I am very sleep deprived right now with the newborn. I go through anxiety. I have gone through my ups and downs with this business, and everything that you guys are probably dealing with, and every excuse you've ever made in your business, I have too. I've gone through that, and I want to go back to the beginning when I started this business, and share where I came from and bring you guys into the topic that I have for you guys tonight, and hopefully, leave you guys with some nuggets and tidbits to help you move forward as you go into the rest of this year. So I actually started my business back in 2014. And that was like the dinosaur era when we had DVDs. Do you guys remember what DVDs are? Just kidding. Like that was like back in the day when you had to order the DVDs to your house. And guys, back in those days, like, we have it so good now. I was talking to my husband about this today. I was like, because he was like, how does it feel to be old in this business? And I was like, oh my God, like I haven't even thought about that. The fact that I've been here for 6 years, but every time a new program would come out, you had to buy new DVDs. Like, that's like how crazy shit used to be. And I think about that all the time. I apologize if you guys don't like cursing. That's gonna kind of that's just who I am. But can you guys hear me, or did I break up? You guys hear me okay? Okay. So I started back in 2014 because I really didn't have any other choice. And just like a lot of you guys, coaching probably it came into my life when I needed it the most. And I didn't even really know that at the time. And so to give you guys a little bit of a backstory, I battled depression and anxiety for as long as I can remember. It started for me when I was a kid, and I dealt with being bullied, and every time something was like off in my life, I don't know if any of you guys can relate to this, I'd fall into this state of like sadness or panic. Every time something changed, I would just like go back and I'd go through these episodes. So if you've ever dealt with this, if you've dealt with depression, if you've dealt with anxiety, it's really, really hard to get out of that cycle when you're in it. My parents were amazing, but they helped me the only way that they really knew how, and that was taking me to the doctor and getting me on antidepressants. And I remember temporarily feeling better, but before I knew it, I'd fall back into the same loops and something else would trigger it. And it got really bad in 2009 after my best friend passed away in a car accident. And that was the most dark time of my entire life. I carried anger and sadness into every aspect of my life. I'm talking through the remainder of my college years, into my first career as a full-time news reporter. And back then, that was like all I ever wanted to do with my life. My goal was to be the next Susie Colbert, and I wanted to be on the NFL sidelines. Like, that was going to be my dream job. But the reality is that, I don't know if you guys know this, when you went to school, is when you pick this career, nobody's going to sit in your like college auditorium and look you in the eye and tell you all the negative things about the job you're choosing, right? So for me, like, no one told me how unglamorous that job was going to be, how little I was going to be paid, how underappreciated I was going to be. I graduated in 3.5 years, and so I started my first job in a small news station in Clarksburg, West Virginia, and my salary was $21,000 a year. And so if you guys can kind of get that in your brain, that was coming out to like a little over $500 every 2 weeks after taxes. And I was like in poverty mode. I lived in this really horrible apartment where the roof leaked and I didn't feel safe. And guys, there were like countless times where I'd have to pack a bag and drive to Planet Fitness so I could take a shower because my water heater was out. And I'll never forget, like, one day coming home from work and there was a $600 electric bill and just like collapsing to the floor because that was more than one of my 2-week paychecks. And I was absolutely broke. I had got this job that I thought was supposed to be my dream, and I was bartending on the weekends just to get by. I was working 7 days a week. And at this point in my life, I was choosing between gas and groceries. And that's when depression swooped in at my door again. And that's when, ironically, when I was at my lowest is when I was scrolling on social media and I came across a post from a girl that I used to work with when I was in college. And honestly, I was like really super thrown off by that post. She looked happy. She was fulfilled. And I don't know if you guys know, but like whenever you are barely hanging on by a thread, the last thing that you want to see is somebody living their best life, right? We all know that feeling. Yeah. But I remember just like kind of rolling my eyes at what she was doing and kind of just scrolling on by because I literally thought she was in a cult. Like, that's what I thought it was. I literally scrolled by and was like, oh my God, this girl's annoying. And I said that all the time. Like, she's the worst. But the thing about her is that she was consistent. I kept seeing her every single day. She'd be there working out. She'd be there raving about her results. And then finally I reached out to her because that's when 21 Day Fix dropped. That's how old I am in this business. This is when 21 Day Fix came out. And I remember sending her this message and being like, I was like, what is this 21 Day Fix program? Like, that's literally what I said. And she was such a new coach at the time that I got a message back that was this long. And it told me that she tried to sell me the challenge pack, talked about Shakeology, all these things, social security number. I'm like, what the hell is happening? I was like, I am out of here. And so I was like, no thanks. No, I'm good. I couldn't afford Shakeology. I remember even looking at my husband now, who's my boyfriend at the time, being like, I'm not spending that much money on a protein shake. Hell no. So I went on beachbody.com and I bought the DVDs behind her back. Like, don't ever count that girl out because that was me. That was me. And the thing that was even more ballsy about me is that once I got it in the mail, I reached out to her and asked her to help me. So like I went back to her again and I said, hey, like, can you help me through this? And the best part about it is like, I remember getting that package in the mail, seeing how small those containers were, and, obviously freaking out and thinking like, there's no way this is going to work. But 2 weeks in, I was a whole new person. Like, I felt like a completely different person. I lost 7 pounds and I was excited. And like I said, I did it on my own. I reached out and asked her a couple questions, but I was never one in a challenge group. I was never, I didn't really have this coach leading me. So the power of what we do is so special because I didn't have that at the beginning. I chose that life, so it's not her fault. But like I said, she was always there to help me even when I needed her. And I was even that broke mooch that whenever she talked about, free Shakeology samples, I was first in line, like, hey, send me some free Shakeology samples. And like, that was who I was. But what it came down to is that, I became a believer. And before I even, finished the program, before I even got my first HD order, I wanted everybody to know about it. So I reached back out to that same girl who helped me, even when I didn't purchase from her, because she still stepped up and helped me. She gave me this trust, and I wanted to sign up with her. And she goes, well, you should sign up as a coach so you can get a discount on Shakeology. And I'm like, discount? Cool. Yeah, sure. But I remember literally sitting in my living room and just telling myself, like, I'm not going to do this unless I'm going to go all in. I said that from the very day one. Like, I'm not going to half-ass this. I'm not going to sign up and just like put my little pinky toe in. And then if water gets too cold, back out. Like, I'm going to dive in. Like, I'm going full in. So back then, guys, I don't know what you're going to, I'm going to assume that this is not how Paige trains you. But you know what I got when I started? A 17-page PDF in my email that told me how to become a coach. A 17-page PDF. And I printed it off and I literally sat down on my couch and with a highlighter and I started reading. And that is how I got started as a coach. And I always tell people that because guys, like if you want this bad enough, you figure it out. You don't need this pristine training, this Facebook group, this, going over to Thinkific or all the other things. Like I literally figured this whole thing out on my own because I wanted it bad enough. Okay. So the reason that I tell you my story first is because it's going to lead into the topic that I want to talk to you guys about tonight. And that's choosing yourself and burning the rule book. Okay. And I really am excited. I'm super passionate about this subject. This is what I talk to a lot of teams about. And I want to tell you like why this is so important. Like we need to be real here. How many of you on this call, by a show of hands, believe that you need to follow some sort of rule book in the Beachbody world? You need to do your success club tracker, post on social media, follow all the top coaches on social media and see what they're doing. Talk about Shakeology, talk about our programs, try to rank advance, right? We all know this rule book, right? We're like, this is what we're supposed to do. And then if you don't do these things, then you're deemed a failure, right? You're not as good as another coach in the network. And then you try to convince yourself this business isn't for you. And I want to make something very clear. The real reason coaches quit is not because they suck at this, okay? Anyone and everyone, every single one of you can be great at this. The reason that coaches quit is because they lose sight of why they started in the first place. They fall victim to comparison in this cookie cutter mold of how it should be. The truth is, guys, when it comes down to this business, we have enough blueprints and tactics to make our heads spin. Anywhere you turn, you can find someone sharing a formula or training on how to be successful in this business. Everywhere you turn. Every Monday, we have a national wake-up call teaching us all kinds of new things. We have team calls like this one that educate us and they light us up. We can literally go on Facebook and see an ad that says, tired of cold inviting? Don't tell your upline the secret. We see this stuff everywhere, right? Like you guys know what I'm talking about. We follow all these people who have found success before us, and the majority of us will never, ever, ever shape our businesses into what they can become because we're trying to be a carbon copy of everyone else. Can anybody relate to that? I need you guys to understand this. Social media is crowded. We are living in a very crowded social media world right now, especially right now because we're all quarantined at home. You guys probably are all seeing your Instagram story. Let's go up because everybody is freaking bored. And the reality of it, guys, is that potential customers and coaches, they don't want another copycat. They need you. The real you, the raw you, the rule-breaking, cursing you. The you that knows exactly who she is and what she wants. The creative you, the you that doesn't need this permission slip to put herself out there and go after and chase all of her dreams. So this call tonight is about helping you squeeze out of this Beachbody box that you put yourself into, to reject the status quo, to go unfollow all of the people out there who make you feel like you're doing it wrong, and become in tune with the type of business that you actually want to run and start doing things your way. Does that sound good? Cool. So I have your permission to dive into these next couple things? Cool. Okay. Here's the reality. It is time to choose you, guys. It's time to choose you. It's time for you to burn the rule book, and it's time for you to step into your power of becoming a complete badass. Okay? How we do this. I'm going to give you 5 tips. They're going to help you build the business the way that you want to and not the way that people expect it to be. And I want you guys to also understand, and Paige, don't kill me for saying this, but your business is not going to be built like hers. Okay? You're not, like, she's not your upline coach for you to go to her page and stalk her and try to do everything the way she does. I literally tell my coaches, I'm like, I watched one of them the other day and I was like, why are you copying my post, girl? That is not you. That's not you, right? Like that's doing nothing for you. I don't want my coaches to do exactly what I'm doing. I always think that there's a difference between duplication and replication. I am here to help you replicate me. I'm going to show you the way. I'm going to pave it, but I want you to figure it out on your own. I need you to put your stamp on it. So that leads me into number 1. Choose yourself and stop waiting to be chosen. How many of us check Instagram 100 times a day praying that our posts get traction? Did you know that a majority of our coaching network is living in a scarcity mindset and they're waiting to get picked? Through inviting, through social media. They're literally sitting there waiting for 100 likes to make themselves feel validated. They'll send out 10 invites, nobody will answer them, and then they'll still think like they'll have that scarcity mindset, right? Like, did you also know that that's causing you huge, massive anxiety and it's actually preventing you from working? Here's the thing, successful coaches don't wait for their big break, guys. They create it. They don't wait for a viral post or a rank advancement or someone to say yes to their team and to step into leadership. They're going to take the reins and they're going to make things happen for themselves. Also, on that same note, why are we looking for validation in places full of people who wouldn't dare do what you're doing? Why are we out there looking for the approval of someone else who wouldn't put themselves in the ring? I always think about this as a stadium, and I've heard so many different people say this in different ways, but think of this as a stadium. You as the coach are doing something that not many people are willing to do. You're in the ring. And we are all sitting here trying to take advice from people in the nosebleeds who have never tried network marketing, who have never gotten vulnerable on social media, who have never walked through your shoes. Who cares? Choose yourself. Stop waiting to be chosen. Stop waiting for somebody to come to you and get into your inbox, because girl, that ain't happening. Every single coach that I have found that has been successful, coaches that have been in this business longer than me, still say every day they're out there inviting and looking for their people. They don't just show up. They're not just sitting there waiting for someone to choose them. That leads me to number 2. All right. Stop looking for approval and absorbing yourself and what other people think of you. Crown yourself. Stop waiting for enough likes or comments or hitting elite or hitting diamond to start building this thing the way that you want to. You know, I heard Paige say at the beginning of this call that so many of you guys are pushing for diamond. You have this amazing retreat. You don't need to wait until you're diamond to take that next level in your leadership. You can start that right now. So many people suffer from this thing called imposter syndrome. And Mel Robbins talks about this all the time. Essentially, like, you need to feel like, it's basically like you feel like one day you're going to become exposed as a fraud for not being good enough at what you do. I need you guys to understand this. You're not an imposter for trying something new. And you definitely don't need somebody else's approval to go for it. And the fastest way that you're going to get through self-doubt is through action. Let me say that one more time. The fastest way to get through self-doubt is through action. Do it anyway. And the sooner that you give yourself permission to go out and build the business of your dreams, the sooner that this can actually happen for you. No one else is responsible for making this happen for you. I'm going to say, like, did you even know that your upline doesn't have to train you? It is literally in compliance that she does not have to do anything for you. It is no one else's responsibility to build this thing for you. My responsibility, I love my team. My team is my heart. They're amazing. They're some of my best friends. But I am not there to build their businesses for them. I'm here to build my business and then to offer them guidance to help them grow too. So that's the thing you need to understand, is nobody's responsible for making this happen for you but you. You must fearlessly and confidently chase your dreams and step into this next version of you, no matter how many customers you have, no matter how much money you're making, or how much validation you are getting from the outside. I ask my team every Thursday, we put up a post on the team page, and I always say, like, what did your paycheck do for you today? And a couple weeks ago, I just saw so much scarcity, such a scarcity mindset. Someone saying, well, it wasn't enough, it wasn't a lot, but it wasn't a lot, but. I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, guys, who cares if you're making $14? That's $14 you can put in your gas tank. Like, it's $14 you didn't have yesterday. You don't need to be making 6 figures to be able to step into this flow of going after this like you want to. And making, like, who gives a shit if you're making $28 right now? Talk to us about what you're pushing for. Talk to us about what that $28 is doing for your life. Because even if you only got one cycle bonus, that's $14 off your Mixed Berry Energize tomorrow. Right? Like, think about that stuff. That's a big deal. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I missed Elite last year for the first time in 3 years, and I was torn up about it. I was a mess. But then I had this realization that had me open up my eyes this year on January 1st. Because guess what happened? I missed Elite after 3 years going consecutive. And all of a sudden I realized something. My life wasn't over. I woke up making the same amount of money. I had a great year last year. I made over $130,000 in my business last year. Beachbody does not guarantee any sort of income or success. I didn't hit Elite, but I still made money. I still was able to pay for fertility treatments to be able to conceive and deliver, to have my daughter. I was able to do unbelievable things. I didn't die. I didn't lose my business. And I definitely didn't lose any money, guys. Instead of me instead of me putting all of my worth into this title, like rank advancement and Elite, all that stuff, that's amazing. I'm not saying don't shoot for it, but what I am trying to say is it's not everything. I woke up on January 1st and I was okay. I was fine. My business didn't fall apart. And here's what I also did. I made up a plan to not only rebound, but exceed in every area of my business. I don't need Beachbody to tell me that I'm a good coach by becoming Elite. When my daughter looks at me 10 years from now, I'm not going to be telling her about the time that I walked across the stage for 20 seconds at Summit. I'm going to say, baby, because of this opportunity, I was able to have you. Because of this opportunity, I was able to bring you into this world. Because of this opportunity, that's why we got to go to Disney World for your second birthday. Because of this opportunity, that's why you're living in the house that you live in right now. Pretty different, right? It's fun. It's fun to achieve those things, but I need you guys to understand your validation doesn't fall within that. Push for those things because they're fun, not because your worth is tied up in it. Number 3, no failure is a possibility, but do it anyway. Okay, you've heard this all the time. You need to value the experience over winning and really truly become addicted to the feeling of not knowing what's going to happen next. And for all of you control freaks out there like me, I have a podcast called Control Freak Podcast. That is a very hard thing to do. It's really hard to kind of just let go and just kind of become addicted to that feeling of not knowing what's going to happen next in your life. But we also need to understand that without rejection, without being told no, there is no way to reinvent yourself. Without falling flat on your face, there's no way to tweak and to become better. You have to keep building anyway. Who cares if someone told you no? Who cares if somebody was a hater on that recent post? Every single time that you get a no, it's a way to pivot. It's a sign. It's a lesson. Guys, it's a clue to helping you get closer to the next step. When I get a no, I always ask why. How many of you guys ask why? You know, like that's good. A couple of you do. Why? Did I say something different? Did I screw this up? Did I not give you enough information? I'm always willing to learn. I'm a student of this business and I'm always trying to be better than the girl I was yesterday. My job isn't to convince anybody. And I tell people that all the time. I'm not in the business of convincing. I am not here to make you do something that you want to do. What I am here to do is to get my face and my mission and my values in front of as many people as possible and change their lives. I'm going to keep mastering my skills and I'm going to keep learning. I'm not attached. Just like I'm not attached to recognition, I am not attached to your answer to me. Because if I know that if I'm in your inbox, you know my name. And you're going to come back one day. And I always look for ways to grow within each failure. So my question to you is, how are you handling rejection? Do you freak out? Do you shut down? Do you stop posting? Do you stop inviting for 4 days because you're scared? Do you get defensive? What I want you guys to do is use it as evidence, like that you, like use this as evidence and as like just tools to help you move forward. Look for this as value in your obstacles instead of on finding reasons on why you can't do this. Just because someone told you no doesn't mean that you can't be a good coach. Who gives a shit if they told you no? Go find somebody that'll tell you yes. They know your name now. They know you. Like, they're going to come back. Number 4, proudly own who you are. When people talk about you, they're talking about your brand. And I actually just had Paige talk to my team about this on Wednesday. And I think that you have your leader is a great example of this. Because you can't be me. You can't go to my page, and like I talked at the beginning of this call, you can't go to my page and just look at my stuff and then copy it and think that you're going to be successful with it. It's just not going to work. I mean, I'd hope you know that. You know, people are looking for, they want you. And the thing is whether they have an amazing experience with you, and I'm talking about they as your audience, or a negative one, it reflects your brand. The moment that they have an interaction with you, they've made this mental picture of who you are, right? They know that they either want to work with you, that they like you, that they don't like you. They've already figured it out. And I want everybody to understand this, guys. Like, your brand is not Beachbody. Your brand is you. It's what's important to you. And the way that I always tell my team is, like, think about a mission statement for your life. What would that look like? You know, what is your purpose in this world? Because that's what you're trying to build your business around. And all it takes is one quick scroll on Instagram to see so many coaches flooding their feed with like shaker selfies, literally these things, like, and I'm like, oh my God, no. But those things, and like workout pictures and Beachbody gear. And guys, that'll work for a little bit. But what you're doing is you're a walking advertisement for Beachbody, not yourself. All you're telling me when I see that is, Shakeology. Okay, Shakeology in Google. Okay, that's a shake. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Or I see P90X on your shirt, and that stuff used to work. It did. It doesn't work anymore because now you're just a billboard. The thing is, when people go to your page, I need you guys to ask yourselves, on the first 9 photos on your Instagram, because I'm assuming we're all consistent and post, you have 9 consecutive days worth of content. Would this person be like, that's another Beachbody coach, or would they know who you are? And if the answer is no, then that's where you start. But here's the thing, like, you have to shine your own light so others can have permission to do the same thing. You have to tell your story, guys. You have to own who you are. Like, write it, whisper it, whatever, but you have to tell it. Some people will understand, others will absolutely reject you. But some people will most people will thank you for it. And all of a sudden, this incredible thing happens. One by one, people start to say, me too. And then all of a sudden, your tribe gathers and your people find you. So instead of reaching everyone, guys, try to reach someone. You don't need to be the most well-known. You need to be making an impact. And what I also need to tell you guys, if you are following someone that makes you feel less than, and that you're not doing it right, or you find yourself copying without, I know copying is like a kind of like a 3rd grade word, but if you find yourself doing that, please unfollow them tonight. Because if that's just keeping you from being who you're supposed to be. I don't follow many Beachbody coaches. I just don't, because then it makes me feel like crap, like if I'm not doing myself. And like, in all honesty, even Paige being on our call on Wednesday, talking about just like being who you are on social media, I've been so sleep deprived with this newborn. I don't even know who I was anymore. You know, like, you go through these different, transitions in your life, and you have to reassess yourself, and you have to keep going back and really trying to dive into who you are. And my life completely changed on March 24th when this little girl came into my world. All of a sudden, I had to completely reassess who I was. My brand completely changed. And so I'm laser focused on discovering who I am. And it's fun. It's really fun to discover who you are. So if you're following somebody that makes you feel less than, that you're not doing a good job, you got to unfollow them tonight. And last but not least, number 5 is you need to have a vision for your business. And you've probably heard that before. You've probably heard that from a lot of people. But the last thing that I want you to do is to open up your eyes on the morning of December 31st, 2020, and realize absolutely nothing has changed. That you're the exact same spot as you were on New Year's Eve in 2019, maybe even 2018 for that matter. And I don't know about you, but it scares me to death to think that I could just be coasting through my life, not making any sort of impact on the people around me. And that 60 to 70 years from now, I have absolutely nothing to be proud of. And instead, a life full of regret. That stuff I talked about with my little girl, and what I'm pushing for and the vision that I have for myself, like that is so important to me. And if I don't achieve that, that's on me. We all, every single one of you, have the potential to be something super incredibly great, guys. You all have something so amazing buried deep within every single one of you that's longing to be exposed. If you could only reach this tiny little part of your potential, it would change your entire life. So I'm going to ask you guys, like, what do you want for out of your life? And I'm not talking like, you know, it's crazy because nobody can answer this, especially when you first start in the business, because nobody's ever been asked it before, right? Like it's a hard question to answer. And most people, whenever I ask my new coaches, I'll say, hey, and I'll share this with you guys too. Whenever they sign up, they get a form from me and it's in 4 columns. And I asked them, I said, if nothing could get in your way in the next 5 years, what do you want to achieve physically, financially, personally, and in this business? Because the thing is we can't truly set business goals until we know what we want out of our lives. None of you will not hit diamond if you don't have an emotional reason behind it. You won't be a 5-star elite coach unless there is a emotional meaning behind it. So when it comes down to mentoring my coaches, I'm always telling them, I don't want you to fill in any of the business goals. I want you to fill in physical, financial, and personal first. And then I want you to send that to me. And then once I see that, I'm going to help you set your business goals. Because that's how I'm going to, because every single one of them wants something different. And a lot of times it's going to be the same stepping stones that we're all used to. Hit emerald, right? Hit diamond. Do all those things. We're going to work and make sure all that happens to work them towards that. But I can't sit there and say, you know, hey, Morgan, welcome to the team. You need to become an emerald coach. They're like, that means nothing to me. That means absolutely nothing to me. Or, hey, you know, Paige, you need to become a success starter. It means nothing. But the moment that somebody tells me, Kelsey, in 5 years, like I would do anything to take my kids to Disney World. I can't travel. I'm barely making it paycheck to paycheck right now. Like, I don't know what to do, but all I need, if I could just make an extra $200 a month, that would change my entire life. And then that makes it so much easier for me to say, hey, you know what? You say you need a vacation. If I can help you help 5 people this month with the same package that you got started on, that's $250 in your pocket. And if we can do this 3 months in a row, you're going to earn that trip. Because guess what's going to happen? You're going to earn a free ticket to Summit. And you're going to be able to meet me and the team and explore this brand new city. And you're going to get that well-earned vacation. And if you do this, continue to do this month after month after month, you won't have to worry about expenses while you're there or hotel rooms because you're going to have all this money saved. And then, hey, guess what's going to happen in 2 to 3 years? That's just going to keep compounding. And you're going to be able to continue to bring people in. And I'm going to teach you how to build a business that's going to help you make all this stuff happen in your life. Do you guys see how that changes from, hey, you need to become a success starter? Hey, you need to become like, because the thing is, and that's why it goes back to the vision, is they need to know what this means to them. You know, like you sign me up and tell me, like my coach told me on our very first call that she was going to quit her job. That was like her first thing she said. And I was like, what? That's possible? And I was miserable. She said that to me. And all of a sudden I was like, well, I want to quit my job. Like I didn't know that was a thing, you know? And so then all of a sudden she worked with me to help me do that. And it was so much easier to hit Success Club 10 month after month after month. You want to know why I hit Success Club 10? 65 months in a row, it's because I have a vision well beyond helping 5 people with a challenge pack every month. It's because I want those customer leads every single month because I have an income I need to make. I have debt I need to get out of. I have a Disney vacation for my daughter for her 2nd birthday that I'm saving up for. I have a dream house on my vision board that means the world to me. I have, I'm getting my vows renewed in Bora Bora for our 10-year anniversary. Like, my head is so far into the future for what I need this business to do for me. And that is why I show up every single day. So let me ask you this. Do you have a vision that is 5 to 10 years into the future that's going to push you through the hard times? That's going to make Diamond look like cake? That's going to make 5-star elite just be like, wow, I could really use that $4,000 bonus quarterly, right? Think about that stuff. That stuff is important. So to recap all that, just what I want to leave you guys with is this. You don't have to be anybody else but you. Every single one of you can be successful in this business. It's up to you. The only reason that you will not be successful in this business is if you get in your own way. That's it. I'm no different than you. Paige is no different than you. I'm just like, for me, I'm just somebody who decided to go for it. And if I could bring it back to the beginning of what I said, I made a decision 6 years ago that when I was going to do this, it was all in or nothing. And for some of you, you may not want to quit your job. For some of you, all in might look different. But I'm telling you right now, this business will not work if you're half in. Whether it's to be all in for your fitness, whether it's to be all in to just make that extra $200 a month, whether it's all in to be able to travel and to go to Florida for an awesome retreat, whatever that looks like, whatever all in looks like to you, be all in. And guys, just trust in your own instinct. You are everything that you need to be successful. All right, I'm done. That's all I got for you guys. I hope that was what you were looking for.
And more. Like, so many little nuggets, so many little things. I am sure. Oh, Morgan, how'd you even do that? Look at those clapping hands. I'm sure people have questions for you, but I just want to say one of my favorite things about what you said is, and this comes so naturally for me, maybe it's because I'm an Enneagram 7, I don't know, but the way this business can be just yours, like, I hate rule books. Never wanted to follow a rule book, and that's why I actually wanted to start coaching, was because I was a teacher and we had like a million rule books, it felt like. So I love the emphasis on that it's different for everybody. You just have to decide to go for it. So opening up for questions, if you have the time, Kelsey, go for it, girls. Pick her.
Yeah, whatever you guys have. I'm an open book.
7 years in, she's got a lot of knowledge. Wait, is that what you said? 7 years?
6.
6.
I'm on my way to 7 right now. That's crazy.
It is.
So what does your day-to-day routine, as far as like we have a lot of like power hours, we do things like that. What does your daily routine look like?
Before, baby?
Well, I
get it. I'll tell you right now, it's a shit show. It's basically like keep your head above the water, survive, get some sleep, feed, all that stuff. But no, I mean, I get everything done that I need to get done. It's just right now, it's just a shit show pretty much. But for me, the thing is, guys, is when it comes down to it, is a matter of my priorities in the business. And so it's about doing the things that are going to move my business forward every single day. So there's things I never miss, like inviting, being in my inbox, answering my emails. My power hours all very strategic. So for me, I put a huge emphasis on connecting. I make sure I am one of those people. I run my business very differently than the average person. I don't do, like, I don't do a little bit each day. I'm a bulk of everything type of person. So like for me, I will bulk invite on like Tuesday, Thursdays to save myself time. Like Monday, Wednesdays, I'll connect. So it's honestly kind of creating a system that works best for you as long as you get it done. So for me, what I would recommend if that's something that's like sounds a little more appealing, because time is different for everyone, is I set myself weekly goals and then I just work to reach those goals. So it's like, I want to invite, 130 people this week. I usually will split that up into 2 to 3 days. I want to connect with 200 new people this week. I'll split that up into 2 to 3 days. And that's kind of how I do it. Obviously you guys can see I do pretty high numbers. That's what I do. But every single thing that you would see on the Success Club tracker, I do all that stuff. Like I've never strayed away from it. I don't do anything extra. I don't make it more than what I do. And like I said, that's the first thing that I do. So just another tip is, if you guys haven't read the book, Eat That Frog, that's a really great book by Brian Tracy. And it talks about doing the thing you don't want to do first in the day. So as I'm drinking my Energize, that's when I'm inviting, because I don't want to do that every day. Like there's not much, like, it's not that I don't, it's part of the job. You got to do it. But it's the first thing that I do. So I don't have to worry about that for the rest of the day. So if there's something that you absolutely like hate doing, do it first and get it over with. But the way that I strategize my day is just at the beginning of the week, I just set weekly goals for myself, and I do an assessment every Sunday, set those goals. And then I do like my review from the week and see what I didn't do. And just like Paige actually said that she does, I do the same thing. Is the first 2 weeks of the month, I'm actively working toward challenge groups. And the second 2 weeks, I'm always working toward coaches. So it's always like my invites are based off that. I don't even know if that answered your question, but I hope it did, Jordan. I apologize. I was like, my life is kind of a shit show right now. How do you connect with new people? Just add people on suggestions, friends on friends. So let me try to figure out the best way to explain this. So I have like a method to my madness, I guess. For me, every month I pick 5 Instagram accounts that I am attracted to. So I change this up by month, and it's always based off of what's going on in my life. So right now it's like new mom accounts, mom bloggers, newly postpartum moms, different things like that. So I'll find 5 different accounts that I like, that I'm very interested in. And then I target their followers all month long. So for me, I just go in and I build relationships. So I watch stories through their followers. I will comment on their followers' stuff. I always go into their posts and I see the people that liked it, because those are their active followers, not the ones that are like following their account. And I'll just interact with them, and I find things to talk to them about. And the best part about them being 5 accounts that I'm interested in is that I have stuff to talk to them about, So like anybody, like I'll go find hashtags. So I follow 5 hashtags and 5 accounts a month. Like my 5 hashtags right now are like 7 weeks postpartum, 8 weeks postpartum, 9 weeks postpartum. I'm going after like people that are right in the same spot as me, so I can have things to talk to them about. But that's pretty much all I do. And I don't track any of those people. I just set a timer and I just try to connect with as many people. I literally tally. I go as quickly as possible and I just like tally them all up at the end, just to see how many connections I'm making. But that's pretty much what I do. And yeah, hopefully that helps.
I don't know who said that.
I did. Sorry, but you can go. It's okay.
I just have a very targeted question for myself. Did you do that when you were pregnant? And because I've looked at like pregnancy hashtags or whatever, but I do find that a lot of pregnant women are really hesitant. So I'm curious if you did that, number one, when you were pregnant, and if it's paid off postpartum with those women.
Yes, I did. And they're all coming to me now that they're postpartum.
So do it.
They followed me through pregnancy, and like a lot of my followers completely shifted. So like before, my entire like following right now is people going through infertility or have gone through infertility, people that are pregnant, and moms that are newly postpartum. Like it completely shifted in a matter of 10 months, because that's all I was targeting. So now everybody that I'm signing up are people that are on their postpartum journey, that are newly pregnant and looking for something like a nutrition program or something like that to follow up with, or women that are going through infertility stuff. So I would say, yes, it's 100% worth it. It won't pay off for you probably until the baby's born, but they're going to follow you through your journey, which is really fun. And like I said, now every time I say ask anything about babies, I have like 1,017 messages in my inbox. Like I'll literally be like, is it normal that she's like going, ha ha? And they're like, yeah, that's so normal. And then they're like everywhere. And I have so many people to talk to. So yeah, it's definitely worth it.
Okay, good. Morgan, go for it. Whatever you're gonna ask.
What is your, when you first invite somebody, like, do you just say like, oh, I like your post, or do you like send out a basic like text?
I video message them.
You video message them. So like
So
if
at the
you're on,
beginning of every day, because it's weird if you record something and you're not in that outfit, at the beginning of every day, I record myself for a minute and I invite them. So I'll just say, hey, like super all over the place. Like, hi, I'm Kelsey. I'm so glad to see that you stumbled across my stories yesterday. I'm not sure if you saw on there, but I am kicking off a boot camp in 2 weeks, and I would love to be able to talk to you more and pass on some more information. Were you just scrolling through? Did you have any interest or whatever? And then from there, they'll either answer me or they won't.
oh, very cool. Okay.
Do you record that on your camera and then
On my phone every morning when I'm in the outfit that they'll see me on my stories in.
and then you send that out like a copy and paste?
Yeah, to everybody.
Idea. Such a good idea.
So it's the same message.
Mm-hmm. It's so fast, guys. It's like
Genius.
boom, boom. That's why I said I can like send out 70 messages in a day, because I'm just like boom, 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 boom.
And
boom,
so
boom.
much more personal. Like they're like,
Yeah.
oh, her face, she videoed me. Like video.
Yeah, and like I'm like over the top annoying in it too. So like they see my personality. I'll like be holding the baby or something, and I'll be like, hey, I'm so sorry. I was like, I'm just all over the place right now, but I saw your name pop up on my stories, and I wanted to make sure that I got you this invite. And then I talk to them, and then I'll say like, if you want more information, let me know, or shoot me your, and I'm always an email person. I collect emails. So I'm just like, shoot me your email. I'll get this to you. As you can see, my life is insane right now. I have spit up in my hair, but if you send me your email, I can get this to you in like an hour.
Love.
And I can get through invites, like I can probably get through like 70 to 100 invites within like 15 minutes. Just because I'm like, boom, 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 boom.
Do you have a set thing that you send to them then with the information?
So I get their email. My first thing is getting emails. Everybody does this differently, but yes, I get emails because I am just an advocate of, after going to many business conferences, that if Facebook or Instagram goes down tomorrow, would you still have a business? And that's like my biggest rule of thumb. So I am like, get off of social media as quickly as possible. I don't like to talk on there. So I get their email, and then I have, they go to my website. I have a website that they can like look through everything, but I get them to their email, and then I send them an email that says like, introduces myself and tells them what I'm about. And then I'll reconnect with them back on Instagram. So I still take down like that, hey, I have our Instagram handle, and I literally will go back to Instagram and be like, just send me over an email and let me know when you get it. And then that's kind of how I interact with them.
I feel like you just changed the game for lots of us.
And believe me, guys, they'll ignore those too. So if you're thinking that that's going to be like the game changer, they will ignore those too. And then I'll just pop back in like a couple days later with a follow-up, and I'm like, hey, it's me again. Did you have a chance to see my message from the other day? Now I'll write that one out, and then they'll go back and rewatch it if they didn't. But
It's gonna be a time saver because I know a lot of us use voice messages, but you have to like re-say it.
over and over and over again. Now it's just like, no, I can't do this. It's too much.
I'm sure you've come up with a lot of stuff like that since being a mom. By the way, I didn't know you were that new to being a mom.
Yeah, 7.5 weeks now. It's crazy.
You're like barely cleared to be working out.
Yeah, just last week.
Dang. Well, we're going on an hour. So thank you. Like, seriously, so many great nuggets. We have lots of newer coaches on this call, and I feel like that was such a great call for any of us. But new coaches, like if you can learn that out of the gates, dang, that's amazing. So thank you so much for your time. And
Welcome.
on here, thank you for your time tonight. I know it's a sacrifice. So we'll talk to you guys later.